Oh my God, I can't wait to get back to the eating this. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. Here, fishy, fishy. Walleye burger coming at you. Beergr number 7. Oh my goodness. Caught fresh right out of Lake Erie by the biggest walleye man of them all. You're going to meet him later on. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this like a patty, a walleye patty. And we're going to make our own homemade barbecue sauce using Founders Brewing. You ready for this one? Canadian Breakfast Stout. This beer has been sitting in my basement for about 3 years, and I kind of didn't see it back there. So we're going to use this to make some delicious barbecue sauce. We're going to use a hot sauce that is extremely hot to put into the barbecue sauce and make it a spicy, sweet, maple, sugary barbecue sauce to go on top of the walleye burger. And we are going to put some thick bacon on top, some homemade coleslaw. What? Never made coleslaw before, but why not try it? Here we go. And we're going to pair it all with Anchorage Brewing's Endless Ending barley wine and imperial stout blend. This beer has been sitting down there for just a couple years, and I am very excited for it. It's aged 18 months in Woodford Reserve Double Oaked barrels. And it weighs in at 15.5% ABV. This thing is a monster. If you haven't tried Anchorage Brewing before, look for it. It's amazing. Every beer I've ever had from there is way above reproach. So get ready, go grab your favorite beer, and let's go make a Beergr. This is where this meal is coming from. Ralphie's gonna fillet a walleye for you. And we're drinking a Lavery lager while we do it. Okay, the master at work. He is carving up the cheek, which he says tastes like scallops. Okay, I'm not even going to pretend that I can narrate this. He's just, he's cutting up this half of the fish. That's how I'm going to call it. And there it goes. And then look at how he just flipped it over and then bang, we've got a giant fillet. Okay, now he's just cutting out them rib bones. We want no bones. Get rid of that nastiness, and just we'll feed it to the raccoons later. And look at those two beautiful fillets. And Ralphie says this part of the meat is just kind of skanky, so we want to just cut it off, get rid of that skanky meat, and we'll just trim up these fillets until they're beautiful, all white meat with no bones. Emphasize no bones. Throw it away, feed it to the raccoons, and that's a happy man right there. All right, first we're going to dry these fillets off with a paper towel and make sure you get them all nice and dry, and then we're just going to cut them up into little bite-sized chunks, chunkers, so that we can just cook them up, and there's our chunks, with that little cheek meat too. So we're just going to lay them in the beautiful cast iron pan, all nice and even, get them all in there and hit them with some salt and pepper. We don't need to do much because these are already delicious. And we're going to throw these into a 350-degree oven. And this doesn't take long. It takes only about 8 to 10 minutes, and look at the beautiful flaky meat. And now we're just going to throw it into a bowl and just take 2 forks and just kind of shred it. So we just want to shred this up into little flakes. Well, it's just like that. That looks perfect. Now we're going to make our barbecue sauce. Okay, for this barbecue sauce, we're going to use 2 cups of ketchup. Heinz ketchup, please. And we're also going to... once this ketchup bottle decides to cooperate, we're also going to use half a cup of apple cider vinegar, 5 tablespoons of sugar, and stir it up a little bit just to blend these ingredients now. Then we're going to use a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and half a tablespoon of onion powder, half a tablespoon of black pepper, and a bunch of glugs of Worcestershire sauce, and a half a tablespoon of lemon juice. And we will just mix, get all of these ingredients incorporated, and here we're going to add our Miso hot sauce. This is ghost pepper and Carolina Reaper sauce. We just need a tiny bit. Make sure you wash your hands after handling. And this bottle of CBS, since it was 3 years old, was definitely a gusher. So we poured a little bit, and then we will just use the rest of it into the barbecue sauce. So just stir all of this up. Keep it going, let it thicken. I think I cooked this on low heat probably for about 45 minutes to an hour until it reduced down to semi-thickness because it's still hot, so once it cools it'll get thicker. And here we go, pour it into a beautiful jar. This amount of sauce made two 16-ounce jars. And there we go. Now we're gonna make our coleslaw, and we're just gonna use half the cabbage for this recipe since we're just making it for a couple burgers. We'll save the rest for later. Cut out the core and just chop up this cabbage with a sharp knife and dice it all up into small pieces. We're just gonna keep chopping it up, choppy, choppy, choppy. Let's get it nice and small pieces, and this should be good. And then we're just gonna throw all of this into a beautiful glass bowl. Okay, we're just going to use 1 carrot for this coleslaw recipe, but have an extra carrot on hand when you go to make the filling for the walleye patties. So we're just going to chop these up into really thin matchsticks. I don't know why I started chopping it this way, but that's what you want to see. Real thin matchsticks. And we're going to start this with half a cup of Japanese Kewpie Mayo. And I actually threw in a little bit extra mayo at the end, you'll see, because it was just a little runny. So be prepared to throw a little bit extra mayo. And we're going to throw in 2 tablespoons of sugar, a bunch of cranks from the pepper mill, and some salt. And we're going to throw in 1 tablespoon of white vinegar and 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I'm just going to pour all of that in there and mix it all up, and it is looking great. I've never made coleslaw before, so I was really happy with the way this turned out. So now we're going to make our filling. We're going to dice up the rest of these carrots into really small bite-sized, tiny bite-sized pieces, and put those into a bowl. And now we're going to make now cut up a shallot. So I used 1 whole shallot in here, and I wanted to cut these up really thin. So do two slices inward, and then make a bunch of strips, and then cut them real fine. Okay, I've got that beautiful color from the carrots, the brightness from the onions, and now we're going to use a microplane and just plane out some garlic to make a garlic paste to go right in here. There it is, pasty garlic. And we're also going to use 2 green onions, and we're just going to chop these up, the whole thing, the green part and the tough part, and we're just going to chop it up into really small pieces. And we're going to mix that all into the bowl. And now we're also going to use some homegrown cayenne peppers into this mix to add a little bit of spice. You can use any kind of peppers that you want. I like to leave the seeds in. We're only using 2 here, so get that extra spice from those seeds. And now I'm just going to chop up a whole bunch of fresh parsley. And we're only going to use about half of this into the mixture of the patties, and then we'll throw the rest in a little bit later on, you'll see. So put that into a separate bowl so you can have that separated from the rest of the stuffing mix. And let's start with a couple tablespoons of nice butter. Get that all up in there, and then we're just going to saute up all of the carrot, green onion, shallot, and garlic mixture until it's soft and blended well together. Put a little bit of salt in there if you like. Salt it to taste. I just did just a little bit. And we're just going to keep stirring that up until it gets nice and soft and cooked. And now we're going to add a handful of our fresh parsley into there. And then we're going to turn off the heat, mix that all up, and we're going to put it right into a bowl to put into our stuffing later. Not sure if you can hear the rain in the background, but it is pouring down rain while I'm recording this. So we're going to blend up 2 eggs, and we're going to mix that into our chilled walleye and mix in our veggies, mix that all together, and then here's a great little secret. Get a whole pack of saltine crackers and just crush it up and blend it right into your mixture. This is going to help bind everything together. It's going to give a really nice texture to your patties, and there's that extra glug of Kewpie Mayo that I was talking about. Let's just dig in with our hands. That's the best way to do this. Just get dirty. This is walleye fishing. Just get dirty, and that's what you want to see when you're done mixing it all up. And now we're just going to take a couple handfuls, and we're just going to smash it together and make a patty. Oh, I'm going with like 1.5 to 2 inch thick patties, and that's what we want to see. Look at those chunks of walleye in there. And now you just drape that, drop it into some panko breadcrumbs, And there we go. And now we've made 4 patties. And we're also going to cook up some thick cut bacon. You know by now that I like my bacon crispy. So for these buns, we were just using regular buns. And actually, these are potato buns, sorry. And we're just going to brown those up nice and charred with some olive oil. And let's throw a couple more tablespoons of butter into this pan and get that all melted up. And now we're going to put in our beautiful walleye patties. These things are like softballs in disc shape. These are awesome. And they're just going to cook those in the butter a few minutes just to get them nice and golden brown. Rub them in the extra butter once you flip them. And wow, those look awesome. Now, this is Tillamook smoked cheddar cheese. I cut these nice and thick, pour a little bit of water in the pan, cover it up, and let the steam melt that beautiful cheddar cheese. Look at that. That is amazing. Now we're going to go to the station. Let's put the barbecue sauce on the bottom bun, some bacon, coleslaw, add in a few tablespoons of coleslaw there, and then we're going to add our walleye patty with the smoked cheddar cheese. And you guessed it, more of this delicious, spicy barbecue sauce. Just drench it. Be generous in life and with your burgers. Cap it off, and now, oh my God, that's awesome. It's just a complete mess. Now we're going to go ahead and cut it in half. You know the routine. And here we go. What? Okay. Oh, here we go. Beergr number 7, the walleye Beergr. You've watched the whole process. This thing is a juicy, juicy monster. And we're joined today by my father-in-law, Ralphie. It's Ralphie. He is like the walleye king of the north. Right?
Maybe south. Who knows?
What do you think about how Ralphie watched how this Beergr was made?
Look at this.
What did you think about how that was made?
Walleye capital of the world, capital burger right here.
Let's not waste any time. Let's just dive right in. Can.
What's the matter with that?
What's the matter with that?
What's the matter with that?
Oh my God. That's got all the flavors.
Yeah.
That smoked cheese, that sweet coleslaw, spicy barbecue sauce. Wow.
That's the capital.
Like I said, if it is running down your face, you know it's delicious.
Oh.
Let's see how the beer pairs with this monster.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, here we go with Endless Ending. Barley wine and imperial stout blend, aged 18 months in Woodford Reserve Double Oaked barrels. 15.5%.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's a scary 15.5%. Oh no, there's the alcohol right there.
Oh, boom. Kaboom. It's like bourbon, and it catches you a little later. Yeah.
Wow, that
Very
is
nice.
a great beer.
And it is a beautiful bottle.
Artsy fartsy. So, what did you think of your first Beergr experience, Ralphie?
Gosh. There was, no
complaints.
No complaints.
He caught the fish. He filleted the fish. You saw his hands do it in the video. It was wonderful. Would you do it again?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So as always, be generous in life and with your burgers. Cheers.
Toast.